Alright, welcome back to the channel. I am going to show you guys how to take your injectors out and clean them. I have an injector that is stuck or sticking. I used to run E85 in this car, let it sit for a while with some E85 in it, and I believe it crystallized in the injector. So I'm going to show you how to clean your injectors properly and how to diagnose your injectors versus a coil. The easiest way is you can unplug one coil at a time if you got a coil pack car, and if the mist doesn't change when you unplug that coil or injector, this works either way, you know that's the cylinder you have down. So that's how I diagnose this car. I would show you with it running, but I've already loosened my fuel lines. But, and it's also easier for me to just show you by unplugging one and pretending like the motor's running. Because the noise, you probably wouldn't be able to hear me talk anyway. But the injectors in this probably are crystallized up from E85 from setting. I'm tuning the car back to 93, and we had the car running for maybe 15 minutes after putting 93 in it, and I lost an injector, so we had to stop tuning. So now I'm going to try to clean the injectors before replacing. So I'm going to show you what that takes to do that. I'm going to be using a sonic cleaner and also just a can of regular old carbon choke cleaner. So I'm going to show you both ways how to clean it, and we're going to test it in between each way. And this is sonic cleaners are real cheap. You can get them off Amazon for like 25 bucks. If you're running big injectors like what I'm running, I mean, it's cheaper to try a sonic cleaner first before going out and changing, $150 injector. Alright, when you're trying to find a bad injector or a down cylinder, let's just theoretically say this engine's running. You can either unplug a coil pack if you got a coil pack car. If you have a car that has injectors, then you're running, let's say, a distributor style car, you can unplug each individual injector until you find your miss. If you're, let's say, this car is running, we unplug number one cylinder, the car runs rougher, okay? Then we can just repeat the process until you find which cylinder is down. So we unplugged, now we're on the third one, no change, theoretically. Now I know that this cylinder is down, so I unplug coil pack, and there's no change in how the car runs. So now what I did is I went ahead and unplugged the injector, no change. So what I did is I unplugged the front injector in front of it, plug it into that injector, and plug this one into that one. And yes, it's going to have a little bit of a miss if I put this injector on this one, but so once I did that, I can determine that this injector is not firing. I did pull the coil pack to make sure it wasn't a coil pack issue. I pulled it and arced it out to the valve cover. I grounded it out and seen that I had spark. So therefore I knew I had spark. So now you can go to your injector and pull this injector, which I'm going to pull this injector, I'm going to put an X on it when I go to clean it. So I know which one it is. And I'm going to show you guys how to clean your injectors and how to check them outside the vehicle, so without having the expensive machines and all that stuff. I will suggest using a sonic cleaner. They're inexpensive. You can get them cheap off Amazon, or you can find a local injector shop that can clean these for you. But at least this way you'll know which cylinder's down or which injector you want to change. To be cleaning some injectors today, we're going to be using an ultrasonic cleaner, some brake clean, and some injector cleaner. Well, actually, this is carbon choke cleaner, but you can also use brake clean. And I made a hillbilly attachment, which I'll show you how to make this. I made it using an air valve from the wheel. Just take the shredder valve out, a little bit of tape, and a heat shrink around the red hose here, the line that comes off the can, and your injector will just plug right in there. You can spray it, and then I run through the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I spray them again, and then usually that'll work. And then we'll do that through each one of them and then put them back in. Alright, and after you get your little O-rings popped off, this will just go on like so. Get you a little closer here, show you what this looks like. All it is just a valve stem. I took the valve core out, took the hose out, and then I just run it all the way through. You will get a little bit of back spray through here, so just put your hand around it carefully and then just pop your rubber O-ring off. Snaps on, and then put negative and positive, or whichever one, it'll fire either way. And then you can just tap it. You can either use, I use a power probe directly off the car battery, and that way I can introduce power how I want to. You can do it with a 9-volt battery, 12-volt battery, or anything along those lines. And just try not to hold it for a long period of time. You want to do it lightly. Now, you can also back purge backwards first if you want to try it that way. So you can introduce fuel backwards, or cleaning solution, and purge it backwards as well, which I'm going to do it both ways, then sonic clean, then repeat process again. Now you can take these to a injector shop. They'll probably charge you about $45 an injector to clean them. Depending on how expensive your injectors are, that might be the cheaper route for you, or it might just be cheaper to just spend the extra 30 or 40 bucks and replace. I don't really have the time frame to wait on another set of injectors, so I am going to clean these ones and then put them back in, so this way I can hopefully get my car out for this coming up Cars and Coffee this coming up weekend. That is my goal. As long as I don't have any issues with these afterwards, we will do a little street tune on this thing and hopefully get it out the garage. Well, I'm going to go grab my assistant real quick, and aka Allison, the girlfriend. So it makes it a little bit easier for when cleaning these to have two people, because one of you can hold this and the other one can spray the can while the other one introduces power. Safety first, because you are dealing with flammable substance, so you don't want to have a bunch of arcing and have a bunch of fluid that can ignite everywhere, and all over you and all over your garage or outside. So we are going to take a little brief second to get that set up, and then I'll show you what it takes to get these things cleaned out. All right, when you hear the beat, we'll do it. Hit it again. All right, one down. Like I said, I'm going to do this to all of them. This one I've already put in a sonic cleaner and did it before because I had an issue with this one. I should have done it with all of them. I didn't. Now this car sat with the E85 in all winter, and that was our problem. Hit it. Oops. So that was good. Hang on. Hit it. Now, eye protection is probably a must on this. I have some glasses on. She does not. She probably should. And when you're dealing with flammable substances like this, you should always have a fire extinguisher nearby, which we have behind us, just in case of an accident. You know, you are introducing electricity to the solenoid and a flammable. Because the gas in this is, I believe, propane that they use to push this out, and also carb cleaner is flammable. So let me click it first once. All right, hit it. All right. Real simple way to clean these out. Now, the reason why I'm cleaning these is because I let the vehicle sit with the E85 in it. And now I'm going to put a couple of them at a time in a sonic cleaner, which will definitely get a lot of this stuff out of these. If I can fit all these in here and keep them submerged, I will. It's probably best to do these one at a time, but I'm going to let these guys marinate in this for a while. And inside of here is the Lucas injector cleaner and some of the carb cleaner. Now I will let this run for an hour, maybe 2, depending on what it looks like inside. I will bring the camera around and let you see what that looks like. Alright, we've been running now for about 15 minutes, maybe 20. You can see how cloudy that is in there now. You can barely see the injector, which that's a good thing. We want all that stuff to work its way out that injector, and hopefully this will free up all that junk in there. We're going to let this run about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'm going to pull it out, put a little bit of fuel pressure to it, and check the spray pattern on it. And then we'll compare it to another injector that was working correctly, that had the right amount of flow and everything. This is why you don't let E85 sit in your car for more than a month or 2. So this is what happens. It'll crystallize inside the injector, and then you're stuck cleaning them or replacing. Alright, we're going to shut the sonic cleaner off. Pull these injectors out. It kind of dissolved my stickers a little bit, but oh well. Stickers don't make it go faster. This fluid is so milky after running the sonic cleaner. I mean, yes, I know this cleans mainly the outer surface, but it also cleans any debris or any kind of dirt that's in here on the face of where the solenoid opens and closes. And it also cleans these outer tips a little bit better than what you can just by spraying some parts cleaner through it. So I'm going to repeat the first process again, and then I'll put them back in the vehicle, and hopefully they all work correctly. If not, these will go in the garbage and we'll put some new ones in.